Hi, everyone, and welcome to our webinar recorded interview with Gabe O'Neill and Mary Margaret O'Neill of Kids Are Heroes. I am Beth Meisner, and I'm joined today by my husband, Ivan. Hi, Ivan.
Hello.
We're here today to introduce some new friends to you. Recently, during International Networking Week, I had the pleasure of discovering Kids Are Heroes and meeting Gabe O'Neill, and then later being able to be on a conference call with Mary Margaret and meeting her as well. And we have been cooking up some ideas and some plans, and Ivan is going to jump into our interview today.
Hey, it's great to have both of you on this interview. We're really excited about Business Voices and about your program, Kids Hands-On, and how it integrates into the BNI Foundation and some of the kinds of things that we're doing. So here's my first question, and it's for Mary Margaret. And you know what, before I get to that question, Beth, do you want to just maybe mention how you connected with them? Because I think that's a great story.
Yes, so we're doing some networking at this large event on International Networking Week, and a BNI member came running over to me, literally running, grabbed me by the arm and said, "You have got to meet this guy over here with Kids Are Heroes." And I'm all, okay, let's go. And we literally rushed over to the booth, and I think, Gabe, you may remember you were talking with a couple of guys there, and we were very respectful. You were kind of in an open three, but I didn't want to butt in and barge in there. But as soon as you moved away and were able to talk with me, we immediately connected. The social entrepreneurship of kids is what has got you excited, and I'll let you, talk about that a little bit more. But I could tell immediately that there was going to be a fit between our two organizations, between BNI and Business Voices, our initiative that we're doing with schools and improving schools and getting our business members to be involved in kind of adopting schools and helping the situation that the teachers face and that the kids face at school kind of be improved. And then Kids Are Heroes, where you're focusing on the amazing thing that kids are doing. And I could see there was going to be some synergy between our two organizations and our focuses, and creating something like Kids Hands-On that is an offshoot of Business Voices was a natural. I think you felt the same way.
Right. Well, let me stick something in here, and it has to do with your BNI ethos, I guess, is a good word. Your giver's gain. The gentleman, and I wish I could remember his name, but the gentleman that came over to me, he heard my spiel about Kids Are Heroes, and he said, "How can I help you?"
Yeah.
And that's what BNI members are. That's what they genuinely want to do. And so I said, I loved that question, and I kind of hesitated, and I said, well, if you're insanely rich, you can fund us. If you are not so rich, you can donate. If you got kids, you can bring them over. And I kind of had fun with them, with all the laundry list of things, and that's how it got started. But it's really the BNI sensibility that kind of got us connected. And then it was also the reason why Beth and I hit it off very strongly in the beginning, I think.
Hey, so for the people that are watching this and hearing about this for the first time, you want to talk a little bit about Kids Are Heroes? So, people who are being introduced to this for the first time can understand it a little bit more?
Sure. Well, let me turn it over to my daughter, who's the founder, and let her explain that, since she was the one who started it.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Margaret O'Neill, and when I was 9 years old, I created an organization called Kids Are Heroes. And what we do is we feature kids from all over the world who are doing amazing things, such as building homes in Haiti or going to the local animal shelter and donating some kind of food. And so we feature all these kids on our website to get the kids inspired. So they go to the website and they say, hey, I can do that too. And so they go out and make their own project. And that's what we kind of do. We create a chain of reaction or ripple effect with kids to get them inspired to make their own difference.
And to add on to that, it's really an incubator for young social entrepreneurs. And so the other thing that we're trying to do is help them develop their little social entrepreneur businesses and help them be self-sustainable as nonprofits. So that's really kind of, in essence, what we're doing.
Excellent. So, listen, I've got a question for you, Mary Margaret, maybe that you can answer. How can BNI members' kids, because a lot of the people that are going to be watching this are involved with BNI. They're all in business. How can the children of BNI members, how can they become a hero with Kids Are Heroes?
Well, it's very simple and it's really fun too. So what the parents can do is they can take their kids with them just to a computer and sit down and look at the website. And when you go to the heroes section, just go and read through all the stories. There's over 400 heroes from 18 countries and all different stories of different ways they've created their own projects, what they do and how they got started and what influenced them. And so by finding their own passion, whether they want to help people, animals, and the environment, they can go through these stories and say, well, she's helping her brother with leukemia, and by doing that, she's selling cookies for him. Well, I want to help my friend who also has cancer, but I want to sell brownies and bracelets instead. So they can kind of make their own creative twist onto their projects and then make it themselves. Get their friends involved. I think it's more fun when you have your friends with you by your side making your projects and doing things. I mean, who doesn't like group activities? And so after that, just get your parents or they can get their parents or a friend, a family friend to nominate them on the website to become heroes, and that's basically what happens.
Excellent. Beth?
That's really super. And Mary Margaret, congratulations on founding this when you were, just 9 years old. I know you hear it over and over and over. And I saw you on the Ricky Lake show, and I, watched that video. And you're very poised and very polished. And I know you're really used to talking about what it is you do. So I want to just edify you and thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
So, Gabe, you and I have been having some emails back and forth, and I would love to ask you what the best way may be, in your opinion, to bring our BNI members' kids into the Business Voices initiative, which is focusing on helping to improve schools 5 at a time with our 5-5-5-2015 movement this year. What do you think about that? How are we going to inspire the kids to participate in this with us?
Okay, so the first thing that I will say is that when at Kids Are Heroes, we typically don't tell children what to do. I made that mistake with Mary Margaret when she was younger. We don't tell them what project to work on because we really want them to find their own passion to help and then support them through that. That way they become the boss. That way they do it much longer. And but if you do show kids the need, if you show kids the need about what's going on with schools, that a lot of them will pick that up, and that can be their own passion. And that's really how Mary Margaret. She learned the need about animals in school when she was told that these animals would be extinct before long. And that's when she came to me and said, Daddy, I want you to build a website for helping animals. So if you show kids the need, what's going on in the schools, then they will respond. The other thing that I will say is that children, as I said before, children are influenced by children. They don't want to hear me talk. They want to hear Mary Margaret talk or other kids. And that's why we use our website to influence children, to actually give them a spark to get them involved in something. And so that's really kind of the two ways that I see how that would work.
Mm-hmm. So my thoughts as you are talking and sharing from that perspective, and I totally agree that if you come in and say, hey, here's what we're going to be doing this weekend, come along with us, they're going to be kind of checked out or going to be wanting to play video games instead, right. Something like that. Mm-hmm. But if I could imagine that if a BNI chapter has adopted a school, let us say, which is what Business Voices is inspiring chapters to do, and the members who are participating get together maybe to discuss what the school has identified as their top needs, and they bring their kids along to that meeting and say to the kids even, what are your thoughts on these areas and what can be done to help? And then let the kids rally with some ideas and some projects that can then be kid-led and kid-directed, don't you think?
Right, absolutely. And again, yeah, the point is to let the kids be in charge, but obviously there's parental guidance that's involved, and there's parent like with Mary Margaret, if she would come up with an idea that was really out there, I would kind of help guide it to something that was more agreeable to her. So yeah, you definitely can do that. And again, if kids see something that needs to be fixed, they have a heart that want to fix it.
Right, right. And in many ways, they can inspire us and draw us into the solution, can't they?
Absolutely. We see that all the time with our website. We've got children who, and one of the things that I tell parents is that if you don't believe that children can change the world, then you haven't seen kidsareheroes.org. That's really the message that we get out there, because these children have learned that they haven't learned that they can't do it. And so, and that's so important, because they say, why can't I get 100 pairs of shoes by Saturday, or why can't I do this? And the parents are trying not to dissuade them, so they support them, and they get it to work. It's absolutely amazing. I did have this one story once where this one lady took down her 10-year-old's vision board. The 10-year-old wanted to build a homeless shelter by the time she was 18, and her mom took it down and said, "No, you're too young. That's for older people to worry about." And I was absolutely devastated because of the accomplishments that these children are making on our website. They're drilling water wells in Africa. There's one girl, a 16-year-old girl, raised $800,000 for a girls' school dormitory in Nairobi. We've got kids that are, a young boy is a violinist who raised millions of dollars for children's hospitals. I mean, there's story after story after story on what kids can accomplish. So that's really the challenge, is to educate the parents to say, hey, you know what, your kids are capable of a lot more than you think they are, and then help them foster that energy.
Gabe, our Business Voices initiative for the BNI Foundation is really about getting businesses engaged and giving them a voice, particularly as it relates to children and education, which is the focus of our foundation. And we've always emphasized engagement for the members. And what I love about what you're doing is that it gives an opportunity to bring in the children of members, and to get kids engaged in the BNI Foundation activities. So what I'd like to do, Mary Margaret, I got a question for you. I want to talk about the kids hands-on and kids are heroes, and how that might fit into the BNI Foundation's Business Voices initiative. I think a good place to start with that is, I understand that you have met Richard Branson, yeah?
Yeah, I met Richard Branson, I think about 3 years ago at the DSRPT up in Richmond, Virginia. My dad and I spoke in front of 500 people, just talking about Kids Are Heroes for like a good 15 minutes, I think. Or else it felt like 15 minutes. I'm not sure if it was that long. But yeah, and then we got to meet him at a reception later that night, and we got to meet him again at a pool party that one of my dad's Twitter friends introduced us to. So.
One of the highlights of our career so far. And then, of course, getting to meet you two as well.
Well, Branson's a bigger deal for sure. But I bring Branson up because we really started the Business Voices initiative in part because of having met Richard a couple of times and talking to him about his concept of the B team, the idea that the business has a voice. Business can make a difference in the world, that the government is not cutting it, and that we have an opportunity as businesses to truly make a difference. And where I started with this topic was I think that this is an opportunity for our BNI members to bring their children and get them engaged. And Mary Margaret, you're the expert. You're the person who started Kids Are Heroes. How do you see us being able to bring in our members to help your program and to help do what we're trying to do with Business Voices?
Well, I think, right now we have 400 heroes on the website, and my goal is to make our organization known worldwide, so it's a household name, kind of like how UNICEF is. Everyone knows what UNICEF is. I want to have the same goal for my organization. So by growing the number of heroes on our website, each hero is a step to becoming, more well known. And being more well known, I'm not doing that for like the publicity or anything, but being more well known, that's more kids knowing that there are other kids out there doing incredible things, and they're like, because most kids have never heard of our organization, or some kids haven't heard of our organization, and then they don't know that there's kids out there doing incredible things that they have the capability to do. And like at school, I just moved last summer, and I went to a new school this year, and I was telling them about the organization, and some of my friends were like, that's so cool. I didn't know that kids your age could do that kind of thing. That is incredible. And I'm like, well, go look at the website. We have 6-year-olds on our website that are doing incredible things to help their local communities or even the world. Sorry. But that I think by that. Sorry, someone else saying something?
It's okay.
Beth?
No, I just
Okay.
Keep on.
excitement. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I think by having more kids on the website, I'm partnering up with BNI and the business voices and hands-on and everything, all tied together. By having more heroes on the website and having more kids each day, that's more kids doing great things and making an impact. So that's what I think will be really great, and the whole collaboration will make it really amazing.
I also wanted to make a comment on the Plan B thing. I watched that video that you did, interviewed for Richard Branson, and I thought the concept was genius. And I've really been like, oh, Beth, this is so cool. And what our kids are really doing, that's what they're doing. They're creating businesses that are solving a social issue. And why not extend that to the BNI members? Give them the capability to have their children do something like that, to be able to, and believe me, this is so positive on so many levels. When you get involved with your children and you're supporting them in a volunteer effort, just the importance of being involved in your children's life by doing something like that. Think of Mary Margaret and what we've been through. And this is one of my excuses. I said, okay, if we do this, I'll be an important part of her life. And so there's so many good reasons to be doing this. And what we also see is that children who take this path have absolutely careers that have skyrocketed, because they've learned all these things at an early age. Mary Margaret's been on the Ricky Lake Show. She's got a standing ovation at the Disruptive Thinking Conference. She met Richard Branson, and she's just one of 400 and some odd children. So if we can convince the parents, the BNI members themselves, that there's this gold mine here that they haven't even harvested in their children, that's really what we want to help you all do, and I think we can do that.
Well, if you're listening to this, and you're a BNI member, and you've wondered what you can do for the BNI Foundation, and you haven't seen a good fit, and you have children, I think this is a great way to participate in the BNI Foundation by going to kidsareheroes.org or having your children go to kidsareheroes.org and participate in that program. This, to me, is a perfect example of a business voices partnership or alliance, something where we as BNI members can help make a difference in the world. I really believe that BNI is changing the way the world does business, and we're doing that through this concept not only of giver's gain, but of contributing to the communities in which we live in. And what a fantastic way to contribute to the community and support not only the BNI Foundation, but kidsareheroes.org.
So the next step then, if you have listened to this interview and you are interested in being part of Kids Hands On, which is an initiative within Business Voices, we're going to be totally advised and mentored by Gabe and Mary Margaret, and we're partnering with Kids Are Heroes to bring something to the BNI Foundation where members, kids, as Ivan said, can participate and we can do this work together. Please email me. My email address is bethmeisner@bni.com. I would love for you to go to our website, businessvoices.org, and join our movement. Let your children join our movement. We have a people counter there, and truly that's it. That's all it is. It's a people counter. Doesn't sign you up for a list. You won't get automatic emails now from every day from me and Ivan. It's just so we can count your voice with ours. And then to learn more about Kids Are Heroes, your website, Mary Margaret, is kidsareheroes.org, right?
Yeah, with two E's. Some people forget the second E, so there's two E's in heroes.
Okay, and that's right. And they can go there, show that website to your kids, parents, BNI members, and directors, and take a look at what's going on there. I have great news. Mary Margaret, we're going to have you back for a full hour spotlight webinar. Would you like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds like fun.
We're going to bring you back for our May Spotlight webinar. As soon as we have nailed down the date, we'll be announcing that on our Facebook page and our Twitter feed. So if you haven't liked BNI Foundation yet on Facebook, please go to Facebook, like us there. You can follow us on Twitter, and you'll get all the information about our upcoming webinars. We have a great one that we're doing in April, and then we have you guys coming back with us in May, and that will be a live webinar, and we will have an open mic so people can interact with both you, Mary Margaret, and also you, Gabe, and then me and Ivan as well.
Perfect.
And I look forward to it.
Yay.
So do I. Mm-hmm.
That sounds
Any
like
closing
fun.
comments, you guys?
Well, I'm just really excited to be part of this. I think we can do a lot of good. I think that there's so much good energy and I know that you guys are aligned with Richard Branson, and I'm just excited to be a part of this whole thing where we can actually do some real good in the world and make a real huge difference. So I appreciate you guys bringing us in. I admire what you're doing, Beth. I know that you're the driving force, and I'm really just excited to be continuing this relationship.
Thank you both so much. And
Thanks, Gabe. And Mary Margaret, I'm so impressed. You've done an amazing job at such a young age to make a big difference in the world, and truly very impressed. And I don't say that to too many people.
Wow, thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
she has
Thanks.
probably gotten a head start on us, hasn't she?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, now, thank you for your time, and thank you for listening, everyone out there. And again, remember, if you're interested in being part of Kids Hands-On, the Business Voices Initiative through the BNI Foundation, email me, Beth Meisner at bni.com. Thank you.